dear students of mine. So we discussed Irish literature, parts of aspects of Irish literature. A few writers, mostly playwrights. Now we are going back to the roots. Why is that crucial? Because without knowing where the Irish literature stems from, we can't be 100% sure that we are doing a good job we have to do. So we have to ample our knowledge, our general knowledge about the Irish. Okay, now the earliest allusions to Ireland from foreign sources. What is this about? Of all the tribes of the Celts, and indeed of all their neighbours in the west of Europe, the children of Milesius have been at once blessed and cursed beyond their fellows. For one on the shores of the island alone did the Roman eagle check its victorious flight, and the alien of the nations of Western Europe were neither moulded nor crushed into his own shape by the conqueror of Gaul and Britain. Okay, so undisturbed by the Romans, unconquered though shattered by the Norsemen, unsubdued though soul-stricken by the Normans, and still struggling with the Saxons, the Irish Gael alone has preserved a record of his own past and preserved it in a literature of his own for a length of time, with a continuity which outside of Greece has no parallel in Europe. On the other hand, if we assume that our ancestors passed over the Gaul into Britain and thence into Ireland, we shall find it fit in with many other facts. To begin with, the voyage from Gaul to Britain is one really worth to be mentioned. Splendid physique, too, of the Irish, which is now less sadly degenerated through depression, poverty, famine, and uprooting out of the best blood, but which has struck during the course of history such numerous foreign observers seem certainly to connect the Irish by a family likeness with the Gauls, as these have been described to us by the Romans, and not with the Greeks or the swarthy sunburned Iberians. Tacitus also, writing less than a century after Christ, tells us that the Irish is in disposition, temper, and habit differ from the Britons, and we find in Britain, North Gaul, and Germany tribes of the same nomenclature as several of the Irish tribes whose names are recorded with Ptolemy about the year 150. Okay, now other ancient universal Irish traditions were listed by Milesians, or then how they from Ireland, direct from Spain, they invaded. Then Avienus, writing over the year 380, mentions the account of voyage of Himilca, Phoenician, to Ireland about the year 510 before Christ. Then Julius Caesar, Hibernia called it Ireland. Diodorus, 50 years before Christ, also calls it Iris and says it was occupied by Britons. Or Pompeius de Mela. It's very worth to be considered.